Welcome students, 10th standard computer textual exercise and quick revision, chapter 13, 14, purely C programming and questions also related to C programming. Let us begin with chapter 13. Question number 1. For every question, wherever there is a program segment given, we will be actually seeing it in C programming and then we'll see the output and we'll decide the correct answer. So question 1 is, what is the value of variable flag after the execution of the following if statement? So here there is a variable called flag and it is of type integer, and then there is a if condition which says if 5 less than 8, flag is equal to 1. So very simple it is, but let us see the answer is 1 and how that answer is 1. We'll go to C program, and that program I already written, and if you, as you can see, now all these things you must write in every programs. You include standard IO package, header file, console IO header file. We start with void main and clear screen, and then we take variable integer flag 0. If 5 less than 8, which is correct actually, so condition is true, it will come inside and it will change the value of flag to 1, and then we are printing just to check the value of flag. So we say printf value of flag is %d and then flag, and then get ch so that we can see the output properly. Let us run this program, and as you can see it says value of flag is 1. Question number 2. What is the value of variable s after the execution of following switch statement? And x is equal to 3, switch x, case 1, s is equal to a, break, case 2, case 3, default. So since the value of x is 3, it will go to case 3 and the value of s will become c. Let us see the same program in C. Look at the program. Now this is a new statement. Okay, before that we have taken one variable, that is character type of variable, and s, and integer type of variable x, which is 3, that is given in the question. Switch x. Now what is switch statement? First you need to understand what is switch statement. Switch statement is used to check a variable with multiple possible values. It is a conditional statement, but it is a multi-branching statement. Like if is also conditional statement, but if has only two branches, true or false, whereas a switch is for such condition where there are more than two possible answers. So we can write case 1, case 2, as many cases you need to write. We can write, I think maximum up to 256 different cases we can write. So let's say switch x, so means we are checking the value of variable x, and then we write different cases. Case 1 means if the value of x is 1, then what you want to do? Then we will say s is equal to capital A and break. This break is very important and very interesting. Break breaks the switch statement and sends the control outside the switch statement. If there is no break, it will keep on going in next case even if the condition is not true. We will see that also, but before that let us run this program and see the output. But okay, before that, case 2, that is s is equal to b, case 3, s is equal to c, and default. Default means if none of the case is true, then it will go to default and the value will become d, and it will break the switch statement. And then finally we are printing the value of variable s, that is using %c. Running the program, it gives the value, that value of variable s is c. So that too you understood. Now let us understand the importance of break statement. Suppose I remove this break, the second one, and here I say x is equal to 2. Now what happens? Value of x is 2. It will go to case 2 and the value of s will become b. But because there is no break, it will go to case 3 also. And now value of s will become c. And then there is break. So it will come out of switch statement and ultimately it will print value as c only. So let us see. Even though we give x is equal to 2, it prints value c because here we have not mentioned break. But if I mention break, then the value of c would be b. The value of s would be b. The variable s is now b. So that is what break is very important to write. Another is default. Let's say x is equal to 7 and we are not checking for 7. We are only checking for 1, 2, 3. So the control will go to default and it will print d as the value of s. And it is like this. Value of variable s is d. Let us write one more program of switch to understand this particular situation and to understand how this switch is working. We say integer standard. We take one variable integer standard and then we say printf enter your, or which standard do you study in. Let's say meaningful sentence, which standard do you study in, question mark, and then we say scanf percentage d, let's say we say percentage 2d, so that only 2-digit answer will be taken, and then end std, that is for standard. Now we say switch and switch of standard. We are checking the value of standard variable and for that we have written switch. Now we say case 1. What we want to do is, if standard is 1, 2, 3 and 4, we want to print pre-primary. If it is 5, 6, 7, 8, we want to print primary. 9, 10 high school and 11, 12 higher secondary. So let us see how it goes. We say printf pre-primary. I am going to show you one trick in this program. Now we need to write for default also. If somebody enters any other number other than 1 to 12, so that is default, we say printf no such standard and again break is necessary. Let us run this program. As you run this program, it is asking which standard do you study in. Suppose I say standard 4, it prints pre-primary. Again I run the program, and if I say standard is 6, it will print primary. Again running the program, if I say standard 9, it prints high school. And if I run the program and say standard 12, it prints higher secondary. And finally, if I say standard is equal to 34, it says no such standard. So that is what this, there is nothing difficult in this. But now what is the trick? The trick is we don't need to write this 3 printf statement. This completely not required. You don't need to write this. Just delete it. I just showed you, but now I'm telling you why. The reason is, for 1, 2, 3 and 4, we want to do the same action, that is print pre-primary, pre-primary, pre-primary. So there is no need to write anything here. The reason is, if you don't write break here, if there is no break in case 1, control will automatically go to next case. Again there is no break, it will go to next case. Again there is no break, it will go to next case, that is 4, and it will print pre-primary. Same for 5, 6, 7, 8 also. You don't need anything to write here for 5, 6 and 7, because ultimately you want to print the same thing for all these 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So you can delete all these 3. And similarly for high school, you can delete for 9th standard, and you can delete for 11th standard. So this is now final program and the meaningful program, and now you will understand the use of break. So let us run the program. Even if I say now standard 2, the answer I'm getting is correct, pre-primary. Even if I say standard 5, I'm getting the correct answer. And if I give standard 9, I get the correct answer. And for standard 11 also I get the correct answer. The reason is, when I give standard as 2, it goes to case 2. But there is nothing written here. Nothing means even there is no break written. So it will go to case 3. In case 3 also there is no break. So it will go to case 4. It will print pre-primary, and because there is break, it will come out and it will come out of the switch statement and get CH. That is the last statement. Just again one more thing, if you want to check. Suppose I remove this break from standard 4. Now let us see what happens. Run the program. If you say standard 3, it will print primary as well as pre-primary. As you can see, it is printed pre-primary and primary, because now there is no break here. So it goes on next case until it finds break. And once it finds break, then only program stops or control goes out of the switch statement. So switch statement is very interesting statement. It is to be used when there are conditions to be checked which has multiple possible answers, more than 2 possible answers. Other alternatives, we can use if then else ladder. We write if then else if, else if, else if, else if, like we write 12 if statement. But that is not meaningful. The program is more meaningful here. Compiler also can run this program very fast when it is used with switch and case. So do remember this switch statement and case statement, which is very interesting. Now let us go to next question. Question number 3. What is the value of variable sum after the execution of the following program statements? There are 3 variables taken. Integer num1 is equal to 5, num2 is equal to 10, and sum is equal to 0. There is a typing mistake. After num2 is equal to 10, there should be comma, but that is my typing mistake. And then there is a condition. If num1 greater than num2, then we will add num1 into sum. Else, that is means if num1 is not greater than num2, we will add num2 into the sum. So obviously you can see that num1 is not greater than num2. Num1 is 5 and num2 is 10. So condition is false. It will go to else and it will add num2 into sum. Sum is 0. So 0 plus 10, answer would be 10. Let us see this in C program, and comma, as you see, comma is needed, which was missing in the PowerPoint slide. So we took these 3 variable, integer num1, num2 and sum, and then we are checking. In the question there is no curly brackets given, but it is a good practice to write what you want to do after if or what you want to do after else in curly bracket. It is not required only when there is only one statement after if and there is only one statement after else. So in this, especially in this example, if you don't write these curly brackets of if, this 2 curly bracket and this 2 curly brackets of else, it is okay. But again, I will advise to have practice of putting the statements within curly bracket, so that when there are multiple statements, you don't forget to put it. So keep a habit of writing it in within curly bracket. And then finally we are printing the value of sum so that we get the answer which is asked in the question. Let us run the program, and it says the value of sum is 10. So our answer is correct. So question 4. What will be the output when following program segment is executed? Integer, there are two variables taken, number1 and number2, num1, num2. Integer num1 is equal to 10 and num2 is equal to 20. Now there is a condition and you need to understand few things in this condition. If there are two open bracket, means there is something within that bracket also. So second bracket, there is a condition, a calculation that num1 plus num2. So addition of those two numbers or those two variables, if it is greater than 35, or now or is indicated by two vertical line, that is logical or. Logical OR is used to join two conditions, and the final condition is true. The entire if will be true if any one of the condition is true. So that is OR. So OR is indicated by two vertical line, that is in computer language it is called pipe. So two pipe sign. And another condition is num1 greater than num2. Either the total of both the numbers should be greater than 35, or number 1 is greater than number 2. If any one of this is true, then we will print num1, else we will print num2. So obviously answer would be 20 because number 2 will be printed, because num1 plus num2 is 30, 10 plus 20, and 30 is not greater than 35. So first condition is false, and num1 is not also greater than num2 because num1 is 10 and num2 is 20. So 10 is not greater than 20. So second condition is also false. False or false, the entire statement is false. So it will go to else and it will print num2 and answer would be 20. Let us see practically. The same program is written here. Clear screen, integer num1 10 20. If this condition, two conditions, this you see logical or, it on computer screen it displays like this vertical line with a cross in between, with a dash in between, and it is, you will find this sign somewhere around shift key on right hand side, shift key, somewhere around right hand side shift key. Let us run this program again. As you observe, we have put the semicolon for both if and as well as else we have kept the curly brackets. Running the program and it gives answer as 20. So our answer is correct because neither this condition nor this condition is true. Both the conditions are false. So let me write here to explain you. With or it happens like false or false is equal to false. First condition false, or, that is this or, second condition false. Then the final if statement will be false. Rest of the situation it will be true. So if it is true or false, answer would be true. If it is false or true, answer again would be, the final answer would be true. And if it is true or true, answer obviously would be true. So if this condition is true and this condition is false, then the entire condition will become true if they are joined with or. If this first condition is false but second condition is true, then also the entire statement will become true. And if both the conditions are true, then also it will become true. So for all these three situations, if will become true, it will become false only when both the conditions are false. So you need to understand this for logical or. Coming back to question number 5. So question 5, what will be the output when the following program segment is executed? It is very simple now because we already studied switch and case, so you will be able to easily answer. Here there is a variable chr which is of type character, and there is a stored in that variable chr, and then we are checking the value of chr using switch, And then there are three case statement. If the value of CHR is A, it will print A and there is break. If it is B, it will print B and break. If it is C, it will print C and break. Very simple, very simple program, nothing to discuss much about. So you know that answer would be capital A. The answer would be A because value of CHR is A, first condition is true, and A, there is break written, so the control will immediately come out of switch statement. Let us quickly see this program. We will not give much time for this program. And this is the program. As you've seen, here it is A given, and we have checked all the cases. Running this program prints capital A as the answer. So very simple program, not spending more time for this. Moving over to next question, next chapter rather, chapter 14, question 1. How many times printf statement is executed in the following program segment? So you need to find out that how many times the printf statement is being executed in the following program segment. Integer number 1 is equal to 3, number 2 is equal to 6. While number 1 is less than number 2, we will go into the loop and we will print hello students, and then we will increase the value of number 1 by 1, and it will keep on doing this until the value of num1 is less than 6. It will continue. Once it becomes equal to or greater than 6, loop will stop. So for num1, when it is 3, it will print hello students, when it is 4, it will print hello students, and when it is 5, it will print hello students. So total 3 times it will print the answer, that is hello students. Let us see this program also. So here is the program. Integer number 1 is equal to 3, number 2 is equal to 6. While number 1 less than number 2, it will print hello students, and it will increase the value of num1 by 1. So while running this program, it will print hello students 3 times. As you can see, it is printed 3 times. And if, which is not given in the textbook, if we introduce here \n, then it will print it on separate line like this. So how it happens? First, value of num1 is 3, so here it is 3, and num2 is 6, so here it is 6. So obviously 3 is less than 6, it will come inside, it will do this thing, and then it will increase num1 by 1. So now num1 will become 4. Next time it will check 4 is less than 6. Yes, it will come inside, it will print hello students. Now it will become 5, then it will become 5 by this. Again it will go up, it will check 5 is less than 6. Yes, it comes inside, prints hello students, increase the value of num1 by 1. So now it will become 6, and then it will check 6 is less than 6. No, 6 is not less than 6, so it comes out of the loop. So it prints hello students for 3 times. That is what it prints 3 times because of this. And you know the while loop is entry control loop. So before entering the loop, it checks the condition. So it is an entry control loop. Next question, question number 2. What is the output of the following program segment? Integer a is equal to 5, b is equal to 10. Do, and the loop what we are doing is we are increasing the value of a with 1, and then while a is less than or equal to b, here there is less than or equal to, and then finally we are printing the value of a. So what will be the value of a? It will start with 5, it will become 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then finally it will become 11 when the condition will become false. So the answer would be 11. Let us see the program. The program is here. As you can see, this is do while loop. Do while loop is exit control loop. So while entering the loop, it doesn't check for any condition. So a is 5. First it will print, it will increase the value of a, so it will become 6. It will check here 6 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, then next time it will come inside, it will become 7. Again it will check 7 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, then it will become 8, 9, it will also become 10. That time also it will check 10 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, again goes back, 10 plus 1, 11, and now it will check 11 is less than or equal to 10. No, condition is false and it comes out. So remember, when it is coming out, the value of variable a is 11 and not 10. So let us check the output. The value of a is, as you can see, is 11. So our answer is correct, that is option C. Question number 3. What is the output of the following program segment? Integer main method, integer I. For I is equal to 0, there is a for loop, and where initial value of I is 0, I less than 10, so the loop will continue till the value of I is less than 10. Once it becomes 10, loop will get over. And I plus plus means every time value of I will be increased by 1. And then there is a printf statement, %di. It is printing the value of I. But if you observe the program closely, the for loop ends with semicolon, which generally we don't do. Now when it ends with semicolon means for loop has no statement inside. Just loop runs, but nothing happens. So ultimately it will run up till 9, and once I becomes 10, the loop will get over and it will come outside and it will print the value of I, the last value, that would be 10, because when I becomes 10, condition becomes false. So correct answer is C. This is the program. We have not written integer main, we have written void main. If we write integer main, then here we need to write return 0. But let it be like this. So I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and semicolon. Let us run the program and the value is 10. If you change this, if you remove this semicolon, then the printf statement becomes part of for loop and it will print every time, it will print the value of I. Let us see the output now. As you can see, it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And when it becomes 10, loop gets over. So once loop gets over, it goes out of this loop. So that is what the difference between putting semicolon here means. You are not including anything in for loop, and if you don't put semicolon, then the very first statement after for is considered within the loop. Or if you want to write more statements, then you should follow this method of putting curly bracket, and this is a good practice to put curly bracket. So remember, this is very important to put curly bracket so that you can easily come to know that which are the statements that are coming between for loop. But right now, so it is like this as given in the textbook, and it prints value 10, because when I becomes 10, this condition becomes false and control comes out of the for loop and it comes here on print statement, and then it prints 10. Fine. Moving over to next question. What is the value of num variable after execution of the following code? Integer num is equal to 1. While num is less than 5, we want to do few things. Num is equal to num plus 1, we are increasing value of num, and then we are checking if num is equal to 3. When the value of num variable becomes 3, we say continue. So let us see what happens here and what is the value of num variable once the program segment is executed. This is again a tricky program. We need to see this in C only. So let us see that program in C. As you can see, integer num is equal to 1. While num is less than 5, we will execute or continue with this loop up to this, and once it becomes equal to 5 or greater than 5, right, equal to 5, the loop will get over. So it is very simple question that it will print 5, because once it becomes 5, this condition becomes false. So value of num would be 5 at the end of this program. Let us see. So value of num is 5. But again, here you need to understand there are two things to understand. One is this double equal. This double equal sign is comparison operator, and this single equal is assignment. Single equal means here also num is equal to 1. We are assigning value 1 to num variable. But here, when you use double equal, here we mean to say that value of num and 3 are same or not. We are comparing them. So if num becomes 3, when num becomes 3, we continue. Now that continue statement will continue the program without that repetition, and it will continue with next repetition. Break will break the loop where continue will only skip one repetition and it will start with next repetition. So in this program you need to remember these 2-3 things, that because computer requires precise instructions, so single equal is assignment and double equal is comparison or relational operator, and continue is used to skip that current repetition and start with next repetition. So I hope you understood this. In final exam, for practical exam, you need all these things to be very much clear. I'll be posting other programs also, so keep watching that and prepare yourself for the exam. Best wishes, take care, stay safe.